Welcome back to the Barra Zone, 5th of February, Friday morning, daily NBA analysis. Good to be back after a day off. We have 9 games today to break down, 11 tomorrow, busy weekend. I will be off on Sunday, a Super Bowl Sunday, only 4 NBA games. Nobody is going to care anyway. So yeah, heavy dosage of NBA today and tomorrow. We will get right into it. I'm sharing my odd screen with you. We will use sports insights as always, and we will get right into it. Please like the video or the podcast if it helps you. Subscribe, it helps a ton. All right, first game on the board. Orlando Magic are hosting the Chicago Bulls. Couple of injuries. Wendell Carter Jr. is out for the Bulls. Otto Porter is doubtful to play. For Orlando, Aaron Gordon is out. He will be out for a while. He's joining Markel Fultz, who did go down earlier, and he's missing the rest of the season. And Michael Carter-Williams still out. So this game opened up as Magic -1 on BetOnline, a pick'em on other sites, and we are looking at Bulls -2 right now on Pinnacle. I completely agree with the line move. My line is at Bulls -1.5. I would probably even sprinkle the Bulls if this would get back to -1, to be honest. Magic have been, offensively, the team is just cannot put it together. They have been league average when Fultz was running the show. Since he's gone down, they are 27th in the league in points per possessions, -10-point differential on average, -6 against the closing spreads, and they face the 30th most difficult schedule in the league. So against the easiest schedule any team has faced, they are -10 in point differential on average. Not a team you can back. Gordon out, obviously huge hit. I think he is their third best player, maybe even second when he's having a good season. He didn't have a good season so far, but still huge hit. Bulls are way deeper. I'm not saying the Bulls are a great team. I have them ranked around 20th in the league, so in the Charlotte tier. But I mean, they can still win games. On-court handicap kind of favors the Magic here. I'm always talking about how unreally high rate they take mid-range jumpers at, like the most in the league. 42% of all their shots is mid-range jumpers, and the Bulls allow the third highest field goal percentage from this area. But still, I could only look at the Bulls here. Their defense has been quietly improving through the last 2 weeks. They are in the upper half of the league, and they have like a sub -4 point differential, like still negative, but I mean, it's not -10, and they have faced the 7th most difficult schedule in the league. So good schedule faced, pretty healthy, great depth. I completely agree with the line move. If this comes back a bit towards the Magic, as maybe some people look at it, and making the Bulls road favorites is a difficult ask. I think the Bulls are the right side here. I would probably bet like half a unit at -1 or something like that. Next game, Charlotte Hornets are hosting the Utah Jazz. Game is off the board as Utah did have a game last night. Where on sites where we have this up, Jazz are laying 7 points. I make this Jazz -6. I think we are at the point where the Jazz have been so good for so long and covering spreads so good for so well for so long that there will be value fading them if you pick your spots well. But it's very difficult. Utah is the best team in the league in point differential, plus 11.4 through the season. Through the last 2 weeks, plus 17. They are ranked in the top 3 on both sides of the ball. Amazing rebounding, great free-throw rate. I mean, they are hitting their shots. I really couldn't fade the Utah team. But I think this is their third game in 4 nights, back-to-back with travel, on the road, in what should be an easy game. I think the Hornets could be value here. PJ Washington will be out for them, but Rozier is finally probable to play. I think he's a way more important piece when it comes to scoring. As for the Hornets, I've been watching some games recently, and the stats for them on the offensive end did get better lately. So they are around league average right now when it comes to scoring, and I think it does look better. Based on the eye tests also. They still have a minus 1.8 point differential through the last 2 weeks, but they are a plus 1.5 against the spread, so slightly overperforming their closing spreads. But they are a good dog to bet. They are 10 and 5 ATS as a dog, 6 and 1 when they are getting more than 5 points. I don't like these trends, but I mean, I think the spot might be right here. They are fully rested, mostly healthy, and the Jazz could maybe rest some guys or just take it easy. But even if everyone plays, I cannot make this 7. So I will be leaning towards the Hornets. At home, they beat Milwaukee and Indiana just in the last 3 home games. They lost to Philly by 7. It closed 7, I think. This could be a close game, but I mean, we are at a point where I think there will be value going against the Jazz. If this hits 8, I will be surely backing the Hornets. I think 7 is maybe a line to pass, but I mean, if you would have to take a side, I would only go with the Hornets here. The Jazz are just too good, and everyone wants to back them, and there won't be value on backing them, especially in difficult spots like this one. Indiana Pacers hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Pacers 2.5 point favorites at home. This opened up 5, and I really wanted to bet the Pelicans at 5, but I mean, it was bet down in seconds. Pinnacle is hanging at 2.5 right now. My line is 3 here, so Pacers by 3. Slight value on the home favorite, I would say, but I mean, if you look into the matchup, this is just terrible for the Pacers. So based on how things have been going in through the season, they will probably win by 30. But if you look at how the games usually play out with these two teams, I think the Pels are in for a decent game. So huge rebounding edge for New Orleans. They are 3rd in offensive, 5th in defensive rebounding. The Pacers are 21st in rebounding on both sides of the ball. Pelicans have a great free throw rate. Again, an edge on both sides of the ball. What makes me really like the Pelicans here? The Pacers are allowing teams to get to the rim. Indiana allows the highest rate of shots from the paint, 4 feet within the rim. They allow 39% of their opponents' shots from that area. And obviously, we know the Pelicans, they just want to get to the rim. 3rd highest rate of shots from the paint. Pacers allow a super high percentage there. If your team is going to be able to get their offensive rebounds, which the Pelicans should be able to do here, and the opposing team lets you get into the paint and shoot from there, and you will draw more free throws more than likely, I think I will have to look at the road dog here. Sadly, there is no value, but the matchup is pretty decent for the Pelicans. I'm expecting them to just out rebound the Pacers. I've been watching many Pacers games recently, and they are just so small. They really look like kids there. And I know Turner is a great defender, but I mean, Zion just he's coming off a great game. He will probably flop here, but he should be able to just eat and with Adams get as many rebounds and second opportunities as they can. So I'm leaning towards the Pelicans here. No bet. Obviously, they are still not a great defense, still not a great offense. They have a pretty bad road record. I think they have 3 and 7 straight up. 4 and 6 ATS, 2 and 5 ATS is a road dog, so it's not like they are a covering machine. But I mean, strongly move against the Pacers, and I strongly believe that's completely right. And I would bet the Pelicans on nothing here. You cannot lay points with a team that's likely getting out rebounding and is giving the exact shots to the opponent that the opponent wants. Milwaukee Bucks at the Cleveland Cavaliers. This will be quick. Bucks are 10-point favorites. It's heavily juiced, 10.5. Basically, I make this 10.5. Bucks already played the Cavs in Cleveland. They won by 10. They are the best offense in the league, plus 14.5 point differential through the last 2 weeks. Sexton is questionable for Cleveland. He is their best scorer, by far the most efficient scorer. He's putting up 120 points per 100 possessions. He's averaging over 24 points in a game. If he's out, I think this hits 12, or it at least should hit 12. I think the spread is right. And these two teams play tomorrow. In those cases, I really don't like to bet into big spreads or late, like Milwaukee. We don't know how they will approach it. Maybe they just want to get the 2 quick wins. They won't care about covering. They know they have a game tomorrow. They want to win both games. So yeah, I don't bet into this game. I think the line is right. If Sexton is out, I think Milwaukee will be able to run away with this. I know everyone is liking Garland. I like Garland also, but Sexton is the better scorer, and against the Milwaukee team, you will need some scoring. Next game, Brooklyn Nets hosting the Toronto Raptors. Line is open. The line opened up Nets minus 5.5. It's down to 4.5 right now. I make it between four and 4.5, but I really like the Brooklyn Nets here. I think I'm always talking about the Raptors, that they are like super average. They don't do anything really well. They play smart basketball, but the current roster isn't talented enough, and they cannot put up enough shots. They just cannot make any stops. It's not great basketball that they are playing, and I think them playing good defense. They are the 5th best defense in the league through the last 2 weeks, and like upper half of the league overall. It won't matter. We've seen Brooklyn. They have faced a couple of decent defenses since the big three has been put together, but they have a 59% effective field goal percentage. I think second or third best in the league. They are putting up some great numbers on the offensive end. The thing is, I don't think if this gets into a scoring, like a high pace scoring shootout, I don't think the Raptors will be able to hang. The total is 241. But the Raptors are bad. I mean, they have like barely have scores in the 120s or stuff like that. They play like they can win lower scoring games. Most of the times, they just don't have the offense to hang with the Nets. And I'm always bashing the Nets defense. It's terrible. They are ranked 23rd through the season, 27th through the last 2 weeks, but they have a plus 7 point differential still. The offense is just rolling right now. And since they had the 2 losses against Cleveland when the big three got put together, they had like one super absurd win against the Wizards. I'm sure you remember this. This was like a few days ago. They lost 146 to 149. I mean, everyone had their best game on the Wizard side. I don't think like Raptors can put up 140 points in any situation, basically. Couple of notes why I really like the matchup. The Nets overall suck defensively. They are one of the worst defenses, but they are decent at stopping the three-pointer. Raptors are putting up 43% of all their shots from downtown. One of the most in the whole league, and Brooklyn allows the 8th lowest 3-point percentage in the whole league. The Nets are drawing the 3 most free throws in the league. Toronto is giving up the 3 most on the defensive end. So yeah, the Nets are pretty decent at defending shots from downtown. They will probably have the more free throws. Offensively, if you look at it, Brooklyn is the second best offense from downtown. Toronto is the 17th best defense. So yeah, I mean, everything, the on-court handicap sets up amazingly for Brooklyn. I couldn't really find any stat that would support like a wager on the Raptors here. So they will probably win by 40 as things go lately. But I mean, yeah, I really like the matchup for the Nets. I haven't bet the Nets so far this season. I'm always bashing them, but I mean, this sets up really well. And yeah, I make it 4.5. I don't have a number edge, but I mean, if you would have to play a side, I would probably look at the Nets. Another note, both teams have a game tomorrow. The Nets are playing the Sixers and the Raptors are playing in Atlanta against the Hawks. We know these two coaches. We know that the Raptors nurse can play it safe. If the Nets are up, he will pull the players, etc. And we know that Nash won't do that. He just doesn't give a fuck. He will let KD die out there. You can look it up that KD will play 40 minutes if it's necessary. So yeah, from that standpoint, I mean, smarter coaching on the Toronto side, obviously, but I mean, if you just look at this game, I think the Nets set up well here. Another game where I like a side, OKC Thunder hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. We were fading OKC with Houston. Obviously, OKC came up big. Houston scored 80 something. But they don't have SGA. They didn't have him in the game. They didn't have George Hill either. He's also out now. But now Dort is also out for OKC. So they are down three starters, two of the best scorers and the best defender, I think, by far in Dort. So yeah, OKC, I mean, they are still a bottom five, bottom three team, and they are now down three starters. And I don't think they will repeat the magic they did against Houston. To be honest, I will be fading this team like super hard until these guys come back. It's a weak team, but they are basically missing their three of the four best players, maybe. Minnesota. I mean, they are 1-7 on the road, super hard to back. Karl Anthony Towns is still out. Since he's been out, the team is just struggling. But I mean, if you have Karl Anthony Towns on one side, then the team has been playing without him for like 3 weeks right now. On the other side, we have three guys out, and I think overall that package is just worth way more. Both of these teams are like bottom five in on both sides of the ball, but there isn't too much difference lately. The Wolves have been stepping it up on the defensive end. I've been talking about this a lot. They grade about the league average defense through the last 3, maybe 4 weeks right now. And a couple of things that I like. Minnesota, again, a team that's getting to the rim. They have the fifth highest rate of shots from within the paint. OKC allows a 67% field goal percentage from the paint. It's the third worst in the league. While on the other end, as I said, Minnesota's defense has been improving. They did improve their three-point defense and their paint defense by considerable margins. And OKC is basically doing the same thing as Toronto. It's either a three-pointer or you get to the rim. That's the modern basketball. You need to get the open three-point look, or you need to get close and get the easy layup. But Minnesota is pretty decent against both of these things. This is not how you beat them. They will have most of their bigs available, obviously, besides Karl Anthony Towns. I like Minnesota here as a road favorite. The game is off the board, but softbooks have a Minnesota -2.5. I think that's too much. I'm expecting Pinnacle to be around like -1, 1.5. Maybe we can get even a pick 'em. I would probably bet Minnesota there. It's a difficult bet to make, but if a team is 1-9 on the road, you will again find value. People just won't go backing them, and Minnesota has been the worst team in the league. OKC is coming off that magic W over Houston, and maybe that's telling bettors that wow, we can still beat games without SGA and Hill, but I don't believe in it. One thing to note, Russell is questionable. He has been playing through these questionable tags. He has been questionable for 3 straight games, played in all 3, but the same matchup gets played tomorrow. So the Wolves might sit him on one end of the back-to-back. So it might happen that in the last minute before game, he gets scratched. Obviously, I wouldn't really like the Wolves then, but I mean, I will probably still risk a bet on them if we get a good line. I think if he's in, he's the best scorer on the floor by far. And if he's out, I would still probably look at the Wolves. They just have overall, I think, a bit better shooters, and yeah, I mean, they have been playing pretty decent defense with Towns out lately. OKC, I mean, this is just too many quality players out on a super thin team, in my opinion. Miami Heat hosting the Washington Wizards. Game opened up Heat -7.5. We are at 6.5. So this is a rematch. The first game was played 2 days ago. Westbrook was out and the Heat closed -9. And now Westbrook is in and we're getting a 6.5 point line. I think value is on the Miami Heat here. If Westbrook is in, I'm not upgrading really the Wizards. I'm always talking about it. He has a 36% usage rate, one of the highest in the league on average. And he's putting up 98 points per 100 possessions, which is bottom 25% in the league. So you have a guy who is well below league average in scoring, and he's keeping on to the ball for too long, taking too many shots. I think the Wizards are worse off with him on the court. Yet the line moved 2.5 points against this thought. So yeah, I was watching the first game just yesterday. I think the Heat looked good for the first half. They were in mostly total control. Second half, yeah, they did lose control, but I mean they got super unlucky. I know Bill is an amazing player, but he was pulling off stuff that even to his standards is well not always repeatable. So yeah, I think line value on the Heat here. I make this 6.5, but probably if we would get 6, I would probably bet into it, knowing that I'm probably paying a fair price to back the Heat. The Heat will get better through the next 2 weeks. We haven't seen it yet really, but they aren't priced. I mean, they are kind of priced. Knowing that they have a high ceiling, but I mean we are getting a discount here, and I think the Wizards have been playing above their head recently. Westbrook's back definitely hurts them, and the Heat will get better in the long run. So yeah, I don't have a line value right now, but if this gets to 6, I will bet the Heat. But even at 6.5, I would lean towards the Heat. Wizards. Third worst defense in the league, sixth worst offense. I mean, I don't have anything to say. As for the Heat, I mean, you can probably throw out all the stats so far this season. They have been without Butler for most of the season. Dragic has been missing a lot of time, like Hero. Everyone has been battling with injuries. Bradley will be out here, but everyone else is in. So, yeah, Heat or bust. Phoenix Suns hosting the Detroit Pistons, another game where I think it's dog or pass. Spread is -8 on the Phoenix side. This opened up -10 on BetOnline, -9.5 on other sites. I would have instantly bet the Pistons there. Suns are still without Saric and Payne, two of the best backups in my opinion, and now Crowder is also out, who is an often overlooked guy. He has been helping so many teams. He's really efficient. I like him a lot. And yeah, Phoenix is now down 3 pretty good players in my opinion, and all like solid rotation players. I don't think you can lay 8 points that way, even against a bottom 10 team like Detroit. Detroit is an extra rest. They play the Lakers tomorrow, but I mean, they know that they will probably lose the game. They don't really manage the minutes that well anyway. But they have a strong rebounding, strong edge on both sides of the ball when it comes to rebounding. They have the better free throw rate than the Suns. So yeah, Suns are obviously the better team on both sides of the ball on paper, but I'm not going to lay 8 points with a team that gets likely out rebounded, and the opponent will score like 10 more points from the charity strip. Yeah, the shot map, if you check it, I think it favors Philly. They are decent at protecting the rim. Pistons always just trying to get the ball inside. On the other end, Pistons are super bad against the mid-range jumpers. Phoenix is still on the mid-range jumper train like the Magic. It has been kind of working for them for the first half of the season so far, although the last 2 weeks have been terrible when it comes to offensive efficiency. So yeah, this part sets up well for the Suns, but still I cannot lay 8 points with this many injuries against a good rebounding team who has been pretty lucky lately. I make it 7.5, so very, very slight value in my opinion on Detroit, but it's Detroit or bust for me here. final game on the slate, and this is the best one. The LA Clippers are hosting the Boston Celtics. Sadly, we have some injuries. This matchup would have been way better without the injuries. Obviously, Smart is out for the Celtics. I cannot overstate how important he is. Obviously, not a huge stat guy, but I mean, he is one of the best defender. And Brown is now questionable. Brown is averaging 26 points. I think he's the second best player on the team right now. If they are facing the Clippers without two of these guys, we know that perimeter defense against the Clippers is super important, and I mean you will have to be able to put up points to hang with the second best offense in the league. Clippers are rated second offensively, fourth in the last 2 weeks, plus 10 point differential, plus 3.7 ATS. I think both of these teams are way better offensively than the other defense, so this could be like a higher scoring game. But again, free throw rate, super important. LA Clippers, sixth best at drawing it. Boston is allowing the seventh most. On the other side, again, LA has a huge edge. This is the third road game in 4 nights for Boston. They have been extremely cautious with the injuries. So whenever someone has a slight problem, they are usually sitting them. They have some depth. They are in for the long haul. They know that these games aren't that important. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards Brown sitting this one out. Pinnacle pulled the game at -5, LA -5. My line would be LA -5 if Brown is in. So if you can grab 5, 5.5, even 6 now, with I'm suspecting Brown not playing here, I think that's a hugely plus EV bet. You are basically flipping a coin if he is in. Although I think the schedule spot and the matchup favors the Clippers. So yeah, you are flipping a coin if Brown is in. If he is out, you will have a hugely plus EV bet. I mean, these Clippers are a super difficult team to face even when you are fully healthy. Obviously, Celtics, great coaching, great depth. They have been, they are super consistently decent. And I hate fading them. I think I've never bet against them this season, or maybe just once. But I think the Clippers are the right side here if you can grab a couple of good lines here. I think Pinnacle reopens this like 6.5 maybe. That could be probably much. Maybe this hangs around 6 until we get news of Brown. But if you are not willing to wait for the injury news, I think I would lean towards Brown sitting this one out and Clippers closing around 6.5 or so. So summing it up, couple of strong looks, I think, but I will mention my leans as well. Chicago Bulls laying 2 on the road. I'm at -1.5, but I really like the Bulls as a side. If this gets back towards the Magic, which I could see at 1, I would probably lean -1. I would probably lean towards the Bulls, small bet probably. Hornets hosting the Jazz. Line is 7 on books where they have the game. I make this 6. If everyone is playing for Utah, there is a shot that some guys will sit. If this gets to like 8, you will have to bet the home team. It's an ugly bet to make, but they have been great at home, and this is a difficult spot for Utah. Also, Utah has been outperforming the spreads by a huge margin, so market will correct, and you will get value in fading them. Yeah, I think this line is a bit too high. I like the Pelicans, but not enough at 2.5. If this would get back to like 3.5, 4, I would probably get on them. The matchup really favors them. I don't like what I see from the Pacers recently, and this is an especially bad matchup. I really like the Brooklyn Nets, even at 4.5. If this might get back to 4. Early market support came in on the Raptors. But I don't mind playing a fair number here. I think the on-court handicap favors the Nets, and I really like the side. I also like the Minnesota Timberwolves around the pick'em -1. Make sure that Russell is playing. He's an important piece here when it comes to scoring. And I like the Miami Heat at -6.5. If this gets to 6, I will probably play them. Yeah, that is about and the LA Clippers, obviously. Game is off the board if you can grab 5.5 with Brown questionable, Smart out. I think that's a great bet. So yeah, a couple of interesting games today and tomorrow. Hopefully the market moves will be valuable. They haven't been really the big strong market moves through the last 2 weeks have been crushed. I mean, like I will go into stats on Sunday and I will post some trends on Twitter, but I mean the lines that have been moving towards one team like multiple points recently and where you could build solid closing line value, they have been like losing at a 70% rate in the last 2 weeks or so. So yeah, the market isn't really good at figuring out stuff yet, and yeah, things seem a bit random once again after we had a couple of weeks where the line moves were on the winning side of things. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, 11 game slate. Good luck with your wagers. If you want to grab my picks, you can go to patreon.com/thebettors and join the Discord channel. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow, guys, at the same time.